Hey guys, it's Jen again. I didn't expect to be doing another video like this so soon after the last one that I did. And I didn't ask for any questions or anything, but there was one ask that I got the other day that I really wanted to address it, but I didn't want to write anything down because I think it's too much to write. So it's okay if you don't want to listen to this whole video. I don't know, it might end up being long, but I just wanted to answer this. And normally I would delete something like this without even bothering to address it at all. But this one has kind of stuck with me, and so I did want to answer it. This was right after I gave Ed a t-shirt, and he tweeted a picture of himself wearing the t-shirt, which was pretty cool for me. But then I got this ask. What it says is, "I'm sorry, but it's just not fair you get to meet Ed so many times. You should give someone else a chance. We get it, LOL, he likes you. Now step back, please, because other people deserve it more, people who have never met him. You always get to do everything, like have you ever not got what you wanted? It must be nice to have such a perfect life." Wow. Like I said, normally I would delete something like that. I don't have time for that kind of thing in my life, you know? But there's a point to be made here, and I want to see if I can make it. First of all, I get it. If you're frustrated that you want to meet Ed and you haven't yet, I can understand that. When you want something a lot and you don't get it, but then you see other people getting it, I can see why you would be jealous. Like, I understand. But you can't say things like this to people that you don't know, or to anyone. You can't say this to anyone because you don't really know what's going on in people's lives, and especially on the internet, you know, under an anonymous name. You can't just tell people that they have a perfect life. I run an Ed Sheeran blog, so naturally I talk about Ed Sheeran on my blog. I don't really talk about my life very much. I mean, except to the extent that it can help me make a point about something else. So there's something about me that I'm going to tell you just to prove a point, basically. And it's not something that I normally talk about, and I don't really enjoy talking about it, and I'm not trying to open up some kind of dialogue about it on my blog. This is not what that's about. I just want to show you why you can't say things like that to other people. A long time ago, back when I was in high school, I fell in with sort of the wrong crowd, I guess, and I got into a relationship that was not a healthy one for me, or for him. I mean, it was bad, basically all around. I was in an abusive relationship, and there are lots of different levels and kinds of abuse. So this one was, without going into a lot of detail, I was in a relationship that was both emotionally and physically abusive. And this lasted for about 10 years, a little more than 10 years. It was a very, very dark time for me, and I felt like there wasn't any way to escape. So I tried to kill myself. And I ended up in the hospital for I was in the hospital for about 3 days the first time. And then a few years later, I tried again. But my roommates found me. That I was in college the second time. Anyway, it was a terrible, terrible, hard thing that I went through. And when you say it must be nice to have such a perfect life, to someone like me, you really don't know what you're talking about. I wish there was a nicer way for me to put that, but there's really not. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just saying that because you want to meet Ed Sheeran, and I've done that, and that's not fair, and it's hateful, and I just want you to know that you can't say things like that without it really being hurtful. I sometimes am still stuck there in this dark place that I was in when I was younger, when I was in that relationship. Sometimes I can't stop thinking about some of the, like, he would mess up my face and then tell me that I wasn't pretty enough because my face was messed up. And I think about that sometimes. If somebody tries to tell me that I'm pretty, which, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but whenever somebody says that they think I'm pretty, my first reaction is that my face is messed up. I can't get out of that. And so I'm always looking for a way to not be thinking about stuff like that. Because you can't just sit there and always be thinking about the bad things that have happened in your life that were, sometimes years ago. I mean, this was years ago. There's no reason for me to sit here and be sad now over something that I couldn't even help that happened, forever and a day ago. But just because I know that I shouldn't think about it all the time doesn't mean that it's easy for me to stop. This relationship lasted until I was able to leave, and I was able to leave, and I'm very proud of that. But after I was out of it, I had a really terrible car accident, and I totaled my car. And about 9 months later, I had another really bad car accident, and I totaled that car. I was hurt pretty badly in that accident, and now I've got nerve damage in my leg, so I can't even feel anything between my knee and my ankle on my left leg because of that. And I've got a giant scar, broke my wrist, and it was really bad. So now I don't drive. Right after that happened, one of my very, very best friends from high school died in a car accident. And that's something that you don't really get over when one of your friends passes like that. So suddenly, she had just gotten married, so she was married for about 3 weeks, and then she died in an accident. And she and I had the same birthday. And so every year we had a sort of tradition thing that we would do on our birthday. And but now every year on my birthday, she's all I can think about. and it's very sad. Right after my friend died, my professor from when I was an undergrad, my favorite professor, we had a very close relationship. He was sort of a mentor to me. He died of cancer, and soon after that, my brother was arrested, and the investigation into that lasted for a very long time, and there were reporters and stuff like that we had to be wary of, and there was no escaping it. And then he had to go away for a while, so it's been about 1.5 years that he's been gone, and we haven't been able to see him. It's been very, very hard on our family. But right before he went away, there was a storm in my hometown, and a tree fell on our house, and it fell straight through the kitchen and basically cut our house in half. Like, we had to go out the front door and go around and come in like the side door to just get to the pantry to get something to eat. Of course, we couldn't stay there, so we had to move, and it took several months of our lives being disrupted like that for our house to be fixed. And then exactly 1 year later, to the day, another tree fell on our house during a storm. So that's something that we've been having to deal with, the insurance and stuff like that. Also, my mom recently was diagnosed with breast cancer, so she's been having to do these treatments and stuff. The blanket that I made for Ed, I did most of that sitting in hospital waiting rooms while my mom was getting treatment for breast cancer. So, I mean, it sounds like I'm trying to get you to feel sorry for me, and I'm not. I'm not saying that I've had a bad life. What I'm saying is that I've had a life, and sometimes what life feels like is just one, like, bad thing just right after another, like just a stack of these hard things that you have to get through. And that's how everybody's life is sometimes. And you can't just go around saying that they don't deserve a little bit of happiness wherever they can find it. So if there's something that's going to make me happy, I'm going to go after it. And I'm not going to be sorry that I've found joy in a tough situation. And I don't think that anybody should feel guilty for having something that makes them happy to be alive. So that's what I have to say about that, I guess. Like I said, I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me. I'm not trying to start a discussion about this stuff on my blog either, because this is not a blog about me, it's about Ed. And I want to keep it that way because talking about Ed and blogging about Ed makes me happy. And there aren't a whole lot of those kind of things. Finding those little moments in your life where you can just have fun and be happy, those are so important. And I think we should be happy for each other when we find those things. Thank you for not ever saying anything like that to me again. People don't deserve something more or less. If it's something that's going to make them happy, then everybody deserves that, as many times as they can get it. And I don't know why we can't just be happy when somebody gets something that makes them happy. Why can't you just be glad for them? I mean, that's how I am. If something good happens to somebody, like, I don't even care who it is. If something good happens to you, that's great. I'm excited for you, you know. And I might wish that it happened to me, but you know, it'll be me next time. That's how I feel about it. So I just wanted to point out that you don't know what you're talking about. And thanks for listening.